Hey guys! I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Boom Shikha and I welcome you to my channel. As always, I'm so grateful that you guys are listening, subscribing, and commenting. I appreciate the support. And if you're interested in supporting me further, you can do that by going to my Patreon or Ko-fi link. They're both in the description below. In this video, I wanted to do a little bit of a conversation or a talk on dreams and the dream world and our subconscious. Little things that I've garnered from the many books that I've read on this subject, because I really am really fascinated by the dream world, fascinated by our subconscious. I don't know that much about it, but I wanted to share what I do know about it because a couple of you guys have asked me about it over and over again. And I do speak a lot about dream worlds and my dream work in general, but I wanted to do a succinct, as short as possible, a video on this subject matter. Now, one of the main things I've spoken about in the past is that I write down my dreams as much as possible. As soon as I wake up in the morning, I sit down, and first of all, without moving a limb, without actually moving a lot, or without even thinking about anything else, the first thing I do is I go through what my dream was. I try to remember it in as much detail as possible. Because as soon as you start moving, as soon as you start thinking about something else, your dream dissipates. It's like mist. It just dissipates as rapidly as possible. And you are like, whoa, my dream was so clear to me a second ago, and now I can't remember a single detail about it. So I've kind of made a rule for myself that I want to remember my dreams, because there's usually 3 or 4 in the night that I do remember. And usually I think 3 or 4 cycles of REM cycles that we go through. And so depending on how tired you are and how your deep sleep has been disturbed over the past, or however your sleep patterns are, usually there's 3 or 4. And so usually what I can remember is the last 2 dreams, sometimes the last 3, but not all 4 all at once. Very rare that I remember all 4 or all 3. Usually it's like 1, 2. Mostly I remember the last 2, and then I'll remember maybe the third one on rare occasions if I'm really good about it. But that's the first thing I do, is I sit down. Actually, I don't move, as I said, and I try to recall my dreams. And I'll be lying there. My eyes might be open or closed, it doesn't really matter, because I can see the dream in that moment in time so clearly because I've just finished dreaming it, right? And you just feel like you just finished it. And so I'll kind of backtrack and I'll be like, oh, the last thing that happened was I was next to the ocean. And then before that, I was walking with my sister. And then before that, I was in a playground playing on the swings. And then before that, and I'll kind of go through it in my head. And I'll really try to remember it. And then I'll sit up. I'll pull out my journal, my book, which is right next to my bed all the time, and I'll write down my dream as much as I remember it, okay? And I'm saying this, I try to do this almost every single day. Sometimes I don't because I have to get up early and go to do things, or I'm traveling, or my sleep has been disturbed and I don't really remember that much. But as much as possible, I try to do this. And then I'll sit and I'll try to analyze what my dream is trying to tell me. Now, I think that's the most fascinating part of all of this, but you need to make a habit of writing down your dreams and make a habit of recalling your dreams, because I notice that a lot of people don't even know that they dream. And a lot of people tell me when I talk about dream work is that, oh, I don't dream, or I don't remember my dreams. Everyone dreams, of course. It's a natural part of the sleep cycle. It's just the way it is. You might not remember it, obviously, and you might not be conscious through it or aware of it, but everyone dreams. Unless you have some kind of or some disorder, and I'm sure there's some disorder that prevents dreaming. But if you don't dream, I think eventually you would die. I think your brain needs to dream and needs to have the REM cycles in order to survive, in order to be healthy. If you guys are interested, you should read this book called Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. I think that's the name of the author. Love that book, love it to death. I've read it a couple of times. It's brilliant. I do recommend that you read it because it does teach you so much about sleep and how it's so important in so many brain functions, in so many physiological functions, in so many different ways, that I never skip sleep anymore because I know how important it is. So anyways, that was a little side tangent. So anyways, so you go on and you need as I said, everyone dreams, and everyone has dreams that perhaps they might not remember, but everyone dreams at least 2-3 times a night. So they have 3 segments, usually 3-4 segments a night. They might again not remember it or might not be aware of it, but it's happening, okay? So the point of all of this repetition and going every morning and trying to recall it and trying to figure out what your brain dreamt of and then writing it down. The whole point of it is to make the process more automatic. Nowadays, when I get up in the morning, my dreams are very clear to me. In the past, 2-3 years ago, when I wasn't doing this as clearly, I would wake up and my dreams would dissipate like that. It would be like mist, just dissipated, and I don't remember a thing. Now I'll get up in the morning, and even if I move a little bit, or even if something happens that disturbs my sleep, I'll be able to recall my dreams for hours on end after, because I've been practicing learning my dreams, recording them, and then recalling them and remembering them. Okay? As I said, that's important. And then obviously, as I said, you record it and then you analyze it. Now, a lot of people ask me, how should I analyze it, or what do you think my dream means? And I really don't like those books where they tell you, oh, if you dreamt of a rat, that means that you're gonna get good fortune or something like this. Yes, I'm sure there's partly a lot of those are true, I'm sure, but a lot of the dream has to do with your own emotions and psychology. And so really it's very difficult for someone to come in and say, okay, so that you dreamt about your father killing you, it means that he hates you. Like, maybe that's true, but a lot of it has to depend on your own assessment of it. And what's your relationship with your father? Do you have a good relationship with him? Do you have a bad relationship with him? What was the last time you met him? What did you guys talk about? What were you thinking of when you fell asleep? Were you thinking about your father? Or were you thinking about your ex who was really cruel to you, or things like that, right? So there's so many different factors to it that you have to think about for yourself. Your dreams can be analyzed completely different from someone else's dreams, even though they might have the same themes in them, right? And so that's the other thing that I would do. For example, recently I've been having a lot of dreams where I've been very angry with my parents, and in the dreams themselves I fight a lot with them. I'm yelling at them, I'm throwing things, I'm throwing a tantrum, I'm extremely angry with them. And even when I wake up in the morning, I have this feeling of anger in my heart, this really extreme feeling of anger with them. And it's been really interesting to me, because I'm thinking to myself that for the first time in my life, I actually feel a lot of gratitude for my parents and a lot of love for them. So where is all this anger coming from? Obviously, I'm storing it in my subconscious or my unconscious, and there's something that I need to deal with in order to really feel love and gratitude for them. So I've been really analyzing this and working with it and trying to journal over it. What do I feel angry about? What have they done that makes me feel angry? Things like that. And through the analysis, I've been able to kind of dissipate a little bit of it. There's still a little bit left because I'm still dreaming about the same stuff. And so little by little, I'm going to dissipate it and hopefully help myself, and not cure myself, I shouldn't say, but help myself be better at dealing with them and loving them, right? That's what I really want to do, is I want to love them without all these conditions that I put upon it. So that's what I would say about the dream world. Of course, as you guys know, and you're probably aware of this, a lot of our dream world has to do with our subconscious. The subconscious takes over, I think, is 90% of our conscious mind, of our mind in general. So our conscious mind is maybe 10%, our subconscious is 90%. It is the surface of the ocean is our conscious mind. And then the rest of the ocean, all the depth of the ocean, is our subconscious. It is deep. It is filled with murkiness. It's filled with some slimy stuff, some shadow stuff, some dark stuff, some good stuff, some happy stuff, a lot of stuff in general. Like, there's a lot there. And what I love about the dream world, about dreams in general, is that it kind of helps you see a little bit into the subconscious, something that you normally would never be able to do unless you went under hypnosis or I don't know, maybe if you did drugs or something. It's very hard to go into the subconscious mind, I find, unless you're looking into the dream world. And when I look at the dream world, it is so fascinating. Some of the beautiful scenes and creations that my mind is able to come up with in my dreams. Sometimes I'm standing over this beautiful ocean and I can see into the depths and see all these fishes and gorgeous things in there. And sometimes I'm standing on top of a mountain and I can see this entire world that I've created. Sometimes the cities I'm standing in are beautifully made of these glass structures, and I'm like, wow, I can't believe my mind is able to create all of this beauty. And it literally makes me want to cry sometimes at how creative and imaginative my subconscious is. And I wish that I could get a little bit of that while I'm writing my novels or being creative in general. But I just love it, and I love the dream world because of that insight. Not deep insight, but a little bit of an insight into your subconscious, something that you would never get otherwise, or it's hard to get otherwise. Okay? I hope this makes sense to you guys. These are some of the thoughts that I have on the subconscious and the dream world. Again, I do recommend that you write down your dreams. It really has helped me a lot, because I realize, first of all, the intricacies of it. It's so so deep and so detailed, some of my dreams. And a lot of times there's a lot of insights in there that I would have missed if I hadn't written it out. So I do recommend that. And also, I do recommend you read the book about sleep and realize how important sleep is in general functioning of our brain and our physiology and our bodies and our immune system even. Your immune system gets depressed if you miss even an hour of sleep. That's why you're more prone to common colds or flu if you are skipping a lot of sleep. And there's so much to sleep that we don't know, that we don't even realize. People are like, yeah, you need to get 8 hours of sleep. Why? Well, this book, Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker, tells you, and it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Totally recommended. If you guys have any questions about this, if you want me to expand on anything, let me know and I shall do so. Do that in the comments below or email me. Again, thank you for the questions. I do appreciate it. I never realized you guys would be interested in my sleep patterns or my dream world. So thank you for that. Don't really think that it's a good idea to share your dreams with me because I'm not going to be able to analyze it. So don't do that. But do write down your dreams and analyze it yourself. Okay? Again, thank you. And if you guys want to support me further, you can do that by going to my Ko-fi link. The link is in the description below. I shall see you guys the next time around. Bye for now.